October 28th, 2021. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 243 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
Well, so much for us releasing an episode on Monday.
It just didn't work out on Sunday. Yeah. We'll try and stick to Sundays, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I guess we just won't commit to anything. Right. We won't say this will absolutely happen. And then that way I don't have to go onto Twitter and say, we're going to be delayed a couple of days. Just, you'll hear from us when you hear from us.
That is consistent with our personalities, I guess.
What do you think of that? No, but I agree. Recording on Sunday, I think, would be good.
Yeah, and then we'll try and stick to that, of course. Yeah. But just this Sunday just was not. It didn't work out.
Yeah, we were at the casino too late. I was hurting the next day too. Before I heard from you, Mike called me and said, let's not do it today. I'm frantic. I got up early, no sleep, right?
Figured.
And I'm frantically trying to get the show ready. And it was kind of a relief when you called. Said, let's not do it today because I just went back to bed.
Yeah. Same here. I just could not do that. Yeah. I shouldn't have even. We always go with intentions to stay an hour or two or three, and then, one thing leads to another, and we're there till midnight.
You know what it's like. I mean, we love playing.
Right.
I mean, even, I'll think, we should leave, but it's like, that's what we love doing. So
right, and it's our night.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about some listeners that we have run into recently. I know on The Better Life, Tim and I kind of talked about who we ran into in Vegas, but I don't think I've mentioned it on this show. We ran into listeners Ryan and Greg. Remember Greg that we met out at Harrah's, Southern California?
Right, that's where we met him first.
One of the first listeners we ever met, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
And he ended up moving to Vegas.
Right, he doesn't live there anymore.
Right, but at one point he did, and so we saw him every time we went.
Yeah. Also, Bogan was there. We know Bogan, a friend of the community. Also, Reverend Dave, also a friend of the community. And I finally met Kelly and Kevin from Utah. Now, you had met them.
I had met them before. At Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, and I don't think they were either on their way somewhere. Or you didn't really talk to them for very long.
Yeah, they were going to something, and it was just a quick hello and a couple minutes. And so.
Well, it was nice because we played some face-up Pai Gow poker. Actually, we had the whole table. It was Kelly and Kevin, and then Tim Lawson and Bogan and Reverend Dave. We were all, took up the whole table, played some face-up Pai Gow poker. Then I went with Kelly to the craps table because she wanted to kind of get a sense of how combets work and how a combet system might work.
Good.
And it's interesting because when we were heading over there, Kevin said, I think I'm going to stay here. He really took to the face-up. It was like a new thing for him. It's like, hey, this is something I could really enjoy.
It is fun, and it's fairly safe. I'm going to say that.
That's a good way to put it, right? Because it's a slow game, a lot of pushes.
Right.
Sit and have a few drinks,
it's the
low
best
pressure.
Game at all, period, if you want to have fun with your friends.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
Because it goes slow enough that you can talk and chatter. Sometimes blackjack even goes a little too fast, Well, they deal them and they want your decision.
Yeah, it goes so fast. Plus, blackjack, your decisions affect what cards other people get.
Right.
It doesn't matter in the long run, but in the short run, it does. And there's none of that in Pai Gow poker.
No, it's a very fan-friendly game.
Yes. So anyway, it was great seeing all those people in Vegas. And then out here at Harrah's a few weeks ago, Mike, we ran into listeners Dave and Alyssa and their friend Greg, and they played some craps with us for a little while.
Right.
It was a $50 table, and it's scary. I mean, it's even scary for me, but I think that Dave did okay. I'm trying to remember. He either won a little bit or only lost a little bit. Was able to play the $50 table for a while.
That night went really well for everybody. And he, I think, went down a little and then got back and was up a little. And
then stopped before things get out of hand like they always do.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, it was great to see all those listeners. And hopefully we'll see. Maybe we'll get out to Vegas here before too long. Everybody's, asking about, are we going to go to Zorkfest? We can't really commit to it yet. But, so anyway.
We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, we got an email from listener Mark. I'm just going to read it here. On some episodes, you've talked about various craps sayings. For example, 6 ace in your face.
Yes, it's one of the greats.
I don't think I've ever said it.
Well, you said it to me.
I did say it to you, yeah. I was playing the little individual station craps machines, And I heard one that I hadn't heard before, and it made me chuckle. The saying was, cinco dos adios. It was interesting because even if the roll was a 4-3 or a 6-1, it would still sometimes say cinco dos adios. Have you guys ever heard that saying?
Yes, I have.
I have too. Again, you don't really hear it at the table very often.
Because it's kind of rude.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a dealer would say it. Like kind of an ornery dealer, right?
Or a dealer with just two guys playing who are on the don't, and he's
like, sure,
okay.
That's the time to do it. If the whole table is playing the don't,
right,
6 ace in your face, cinco dos adios would be really good. So going back to Mark's email, I also wanted to ask about another saying I've heard when a 5 is rolled. I'm not quite sure what they're saying, but it sounds like 5 fever, viva, FIFA. 5.
It's fever.
Yeah, it's fever. I'm sure that's to distinguish it from a 9, just like saying yo clarifies that it's an 11. And yeah, that probably is, you know, kind of the purpose of it. But yeah, it is 5 fever 5.
Right.
The only thing is, I was thinking about it. A lot of times when the stick person says 9, they'll say neener. 9 neener.
Or niner or something
that. But neener kind of sounds like fever.
Right. A little.
So what they should do, it's always clear if you just say like 5 no field 5,
right,
or 9 center field 9.
There's one guy out at Harrah's Rincon that when 5 comes up, always says dun 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 5.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder where that came from.
He works on the day shift. Oh, I think it's his own little
That's
thing.
Fun to
He always says with 11, he says, "Ooh, 11, good come, good field."
Just like that.
And he makes field sound like field,
Yeah, good come, good field. Yeah, it's interesting because the purpose of some of these calls, like yo, to distinguish it from a 7, it's clear what the purpose is, but the origins nobody can really agree on. Like, okay, that's what yo is supposed to do, but where did yo come from? And we've never gotten a clear explanation of that, or even 5 fever, I don't know.
Some point in your life you will.
Really? We're going to find out?
At some point in your life. The other day I found out what something meant. I'm 61, almost 62 years old.
Yeah.
I never knew where it came from. The other day I found out.
What?
The middle finger.
Okay. Where it came from?
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Do you know?
No.
And we looked this up afterwards because I thought, are they making this up? Someone told me.
All right.
It was during the Middle Ages when they would have battles and stuff. If they captured somebody from the opposing side, they'd cut off their middle finger.
Yeah.
Because that's the finger they used to shoot arrows with at that time.
Okay.
And so opposing enemies and stuff would get to where they would line up and they'd give them the middle finger to show them, I've got my middle finger, here comes the arrows.
All right, I don't know about this.
No, we looked it up, Mark.
Well, I'm sure you looked it up.
And they say that that's the origin. Now, whether it is or isn't, I don't know.
All right. Well, it's a good story.
Supposedly, that's how old it is. It goes all the way back to the Middle Ages.
All right.
So, and I didn't believe it at first. And then my wife and I we looked it up and you searched on Google and stuff. And they said that was.
All right. Well, I'm always going to be a doubter, but I mean, it's a good story.
I like it. It gives me some feeling of completeness when I find these things out.
I don't think we're going to find out in our lifetime what, the origin of yo.
On your deathbed, Mark.
Oh, great.
I'll give you the origin of yo.
See, I want to savor it for a while. If it's my deathbed.
Just on your deathbed.
I won't have time to think about it.
Your last second, I'm going to whisper it in your ear. Oh, Mark, this is where yo comes from.
You know what my favorite call is? I get such a kick out of this. It's for the 6. It's CIX6.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And, I guess all it is because if you say SIX, it doesn't sound like you're about to say the number 6, right?
Yeah.
CIX6.
Yeah. I like that one too.
Yeah. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, let's move on to our voicemail segment. First up is Kevin.
Mark, Dr. Mike, just an avid listener, Kevin, and I just hope that you're both doing well. I missed the podcast, but I just hope you're doing well, and thanks for all you do, and look forward to hearing from you soon. Okay, thank you.
Oh, well, thanks, Kevin.
That's
very nice.
Much,
yeah.
Yes.
And how are you doing, Mike?
Appreciate that. So-so.
Okay.
Let's say so-so.
All right.
They still haven't figured out what is exactly wrong, but it kind of comes and goes. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, you worked on my dad, a couple of, or it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Right? He commented on how much better you seem to him. at least, emotionally and what have you. So
well, I was
you're
feeling-
definitely better.
Definitely getting better. Yeah.
All right. Next up is our buddy Eamon.
Hey guys, it's Eamon from Anytown, USA. First, I hope Dr. Mike gets well. No need to rush back. Just get healthy and we'll be here ready to listen when you are ready to come back. But I wanted to update you on a trip to Vegas recently. Some good and some bad. So we went to Circa. It was my first trip there. And it definitely lives up to the hype. So I had previously had a one card from the D, but I hadn't been to one of their properties in a while. So I went over to the Players Club section at Circa to get a new one, and they immediately just tier matched me to one of my other cards. So that was great, right? Free parking, that sort of stuff. Well, this isn't some novelty. I just wanted to compare it to my experience at Resorts World. So Sunday morning, I had a flight around 2 o'clock, and I figured I'd just kill some time over there, just check out the casino. So I went in and played a little craps, and then I went over to the host, has a little office there. And I went in, and I asked about tier matching, and she was staring at her computer. She looked up and looked rather annoyed, and just looks me up and down and said, "Sorry, we only match the highest tiers." Now, maybe I give off the vibe of a bum or something, but, I guess I was in shorts and ready to go to the airport, and I had a backpack on. But she didn't even ask what level I am. To be clear, I have, Elite at Grazie, Diamond at Caesars, Gold at MGM, and while none of those are the top tier, just to be treated like that was kind of annoying. And even if I was a low roller, her disdain for the average customer was rather annoying. So needless to say, I won't be going back to Resorts World. It wasn't anything special. The food courts along the side of the casino were nice. I guess compared to some casinos, it's much easier to get food there at Resorts World. However, it was 11 in the morning on a Sunday, and there was only 2 places open, and both of them had huge lines. Last annoying part of the trip was we went over to Cosmo. We were playing Pai Gow. It was not going well. At one point, a friend and I finally did win a hand, both at the same time. And the dealer paid us with a bunch of ones. It was probably 15 each or something like that. And my friend, knowing exactly what the dealer was doing, he said, "Oh, what are all the singles for?" And she just flat out said, "So you can tip me." Now, mind you, we had been there for probably 15 minutes and hadn't won a single hand. We're actually very generous tippers no matter what game we're playing, so this really just was annoying when the dealer could see that we were losing badly. Anyways, the rest of the trip was good. We played at Harrah, Park MGM. We found $25 3-2 blackjack tables at Park MGM Friday and Saturday night, so that was really nice, and had a couple good crap sessions at Harrah. Anyways, take care. Bye.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Eamon.
Oh, it's funny because we hear a lot of good stuff about Circa all the time.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of bad reports about Resorts World.
Yeah, I know exactly. We only match the highest tiers. Instead of, what tier are you? Or what do you want to, just.
What are you looking to match or something? And then just explain, their policy is this.
Yeah.
What if I walked up? What would I look like walking up there, Mark?
You've got an Iron Man t-shirt on, right? And you haven't shaved.
Right. She would probably look at me and say, "You're not even welcome here."
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. I just really disdain that.
Oh, it's terrible.
Everyone should be treated respectfully. And then, if they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're only, the lowest level," fine. And that's fine,
When I went to Circa this last time, I went up, said, "Hey, do you still tier match?" And they were, "Yeah, we sure do." Just friendly and everything.
Yeah.
Now, I'm 7 stars and, but
Right.
I mean, still, they didn't ask.
Yeah,
they just, if it was.
It's the way to run a business.
Yeah, right.
And the same thing with the dealer at Cosmo.
Yeah.
If I was a pit boss and I heard a dealer say that, oh my God, I'd be furious.
Dealers are not allowed to hustle for tips.
No,
and that's
first
exactly
of all,
what
that's
she was
hustling.
doing.
And second of all, you haven't won a hand.
Yeah.
Maybe if you had won 40 hands in a row, she'd think, "Oh, throw a buck my way."
Yeah.
But you're not doing well. Oh God, that's
it's too bad there were 2 bad stories in
Yeah.
that call.
Well, and it kind of ruins your feeling for a casino.
Yeah, right.
And that's the most important point. Because are you liable to go back there again?
Yeah. A single employee can ruin it for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even if, it's sort of an anomaly.
Right.
Yeah,
and sometimes these things happen. I understand people have bad days, and in any business,
Yeah.
An employee can be the best employee in the world and just have one bad day and say something.
Yeah.
But you just have, after you say that, you got to, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way."
Yeah. All right. Next call.
Hey, Dr. Mike. It's good to have you back. This is Niles from Chicago, giving a little trip report. Went to my Grand Victoria Casino here in Elgin, and we're still 15 and $25 minimums over here in Chicago. I just went there by myself, honestly, on a Thursday night. I kind of snuck out. My wife went out with some girlfriends, so I had the babysitter come over, and I went to the casino. I was feeling it. I was really vibing it. Man, it was so good. I was just, with craps, I just feel, before you even step foot in the casino, you gotta feel it. You gotta be confident. Now, I wasn't in there too long. I was only in there for about a half hour. I didn't even roll the dice. I'll be honest with you guys. I was just playing 360 across, and I just kept on fully pressing up. And I only go for 3 rolls, and then I pull all my money down. And I hit that twice. So, and I lost a couple times, but I hit it twice, so I recouped. And at the end of the day, we're playing the hard ways and this and that. I came up about $1,000. So that was wonderful. But I do have something else to say about the caller that called, about the hot water and talking about pioneers. Dude, it's 2021. I don't know why you're talking about before Vegas gambling was even a thing in Vegas, about pioneers and this and that. These hotels are multi-billion-dollar corporations. They should have hot water in every room. I was in the military. I served overseas, so trust me. I don't mind taking a cold shower, my man. But if I'm paying for it, it better have hot water. That's all I'm saying. And I guarantee you anybody else would be in agreement with me. So I don't know where this man is getting off talking about pioneers and why he thinks that's funny. Just saying. All right, gentlemen. You guys are the best, Dr. Mike. I'm so glad you're back. I'm so glad you guys are doing this. We'll talk, guys. Awesome show. Love it. Keep it coming. All right.
Yeah. The one caller who called in, it did kind of sound like he was making fun of Niles, but right. I think he was making more of a point about, look how lucky we all have it these days. Right. So just to remind everybody, Niles had called in before talking about how he was really excited about going to the Flamingo because he kind of liked the whole history of it and Bugsy Siegel and, all that and everything. Right. And he was disappointed when he got there because there was no hot water in the room. And then we had a subsequent caller, said, boy, I just think, back in the old days, the pioneers, they were lucky to have any kind of water going through the desert like that. And look at us now. Yeah, I think now, even that guy who called would admit that if you're in a hotel of that caliber and you don't have hot water, you're going to complain, right? We all are.
Something's wrong. Yeah, well, maybe if it was Resorts World, I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't have hot water.
They just look at you and we only provide hot water to our highest tiers. So
to the suites. Oh gosh. Well, we don't care so much about the room, but me personally. I'd be furious if there wasn't hot water.
Look,
that's the only thing that gets me going.
The
in the
shower
morning.
is one of the most important things of any Vegas trip. Yeah. Okay, we talk about how we don't like being distracted from the table, but the shower is critical.
It's critical for 2 reasons. One, if you're up, you need that shower to get you up and going and pump you up and ready to get out there. Yeah. And 2, if you're down, you need somewhere to sit and let water run over you for about 20 minutes while you mumble to yourself, how can this be
weeping?
Happening? Yeah. How can this be happening?
Exactly. Now, what do you think about what Niles was saying about how, before you go to play craps, you got to kind of pump yourself up and get it. Yeah, what do you think?
Well, what happens every time we drive to Harrah's Rincon on the way?
Yeah, you're doing that. You're doing the pep talk. You're doing the cheerleading.
I'm giving you a big pep talk cheerleading, how bad we're going to take them and how great everything's going to be. I do it. So I firmly believe in that.
I thought you'd think
What was I complaining about this week on the way home? Do you remember?
No.
The lack of nudity. We haven't seen nudity in a long time.
We've had listeners say, hey, we want to hear stories about Mike seeing nude people. Yeah. But you're right.
No, I'm in a slum. This is as bad as not hitting the royal flush. And probably every time Dr. Taylor goes, he sees some nude person.
Yeah, Dr. Taylor hits a royal flush, sees a nude person. Jeez. Well, we're going to hear from Niles again later in the show. All right, next call.
Guys, and I only got 3 minutes, but I've got a lot to tell you. So, went to a local casino to play some poker, and they were running quad aces bad beat. So if you had quad aces and you were beat, you won $75,000. They're also having a blackout straight flush bingo, and the last one was a straight flush with hearts. So flash to the table. It's a 1-3 table. We're betting. There's an older gentleman, and I get dealt a queen high flush of hearts. I needed one more for the straight flush. I didn't get it, of course, but that's no problem. Comes to me, I check. He bets 50. I 3-bet him, and he calls. And so I'm like, okay, what does he have? I see that there was an 8 on the board for my flush. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got a pretty high flush. I feel comfortable with this. Come to find out on the river, an 8 comes, and he goes all in. I shove all in. And when you know it, he had a 4 of a kind of 8. So if I would have beat him, he would have won $75,000. And it was a bad beat, but it's whatever. I hope that made sense. Kind of jumbled, but yeah, bad beat and kind of a bad win for him.
Yeah, so most poker rooms have what they call bad beat jackpots. They take maybe $1 from every pot and put it in this pool. And if you end up with a really good hand, like one of the best hands you've ever had, and you lose, you will win that jackpot, right? The person who actually loses gets the bulk of the jackpot, and then like 25% or something goes to the player that beat you, and then everybody else at the table also gets a cut of the jackpot. Now, I think the listener, at the beginning of the call, he said it was a quad aces jackpot, but he must have meant just any quads. Because in his story, he's talking about quad 8s and that kind of thing. So, but that's the story, is that he almost had a straight flush, and the guy had 4 8s. And then the bingo card that he's talking about, I don't know if you've seen these bingo cards. So for people like our age, when we were kids, you remember like on a long trip in the car, you'd have these bingo cards where, it was like every spot in the bingo card had like a picture of something that you might see on the road. Like, a bicycle or an out-of-state license plate, or a dead hobo or something like that, right? And so, you'd keep track, and then you'd make bingo. They got similar things in poker rooms where, the whole bingo card is just full of different hands, queen high straight flush of hearts, or, 4 of a kind 3s, or, all that. So that's what he was talking about. He was close on his bingo card as well.
It's a good story. I like that story.
Yeah.
Well, one nice thing about those bad beats is that, it's kind of fun when it happens.
Yeah.
And it's good for the casino because that's a free roll for them. All that money comes from money they've taken out of pots.
That's right. Yeah. It comes directly from the players back to the players.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not their money. They're not giving away anything, but it draws a lot of people in thinking, I might get lucky and win $75,000.
A lot of players in our home game go play poker at a local casino here, Sequan. And whenever I get together with them on the home game, they're all talking about what the jackpot's at, or, did the jackpot get hit? Now, the jackpot out at Sequan, I think you have to have aces full of jacks or higher and be beat. So it's not 4 of a kind.
Okay.
And it's a jackpot that grows, right? It's not just a flat 75,000, it keeps growing. So
you can have a high full house and still get that jackpot. That's kind of nice.
Yeah. Well, aces full of jacks, they're
right. I know.
That's a pretty high full house. But yes, exactly. Yeah. Yep. All right. Next up is Mike.
Hi, guys. Mike in Los Angeles. I have a little bit of a late trip report for you. Went to Vegas over Labor Day weekend, stayed at the Venetian. I gotta say, Venetian's our new favorite property. With the Palazzo being next door and some of the food court options on the first and second floor of Venetian, it's real easy to get a bite to eat and get back to the tables. Couple observations about Palazzo. They do have one table with a fire bet, which I like to play, and they have one table with no repeater bet, no fire bet, and no all tall small. I liked playing that table. It really sped up the game, and the dealers liked it because there was less to keep track of. Of course, the gambling was no good at Venetian or Palazzo. We got crushed there. We did go to Caesars, and we got all our money back plus some. So I was happy about that. One thing about Caesars, though, there's a bunch of construction walls going up. The place is kind of a mess right now. The main casino where the craps tables are is unrecognizable. There's just construction walls everywhere. But we didn't seem to mind because we were winning. I primarily play tables, but I did have an itch for some slots this trip. The Venetian has a nice high-limit slot parlor. They have their own cashier in there, so you can go in there and exchange your chips without waiting in line. I did have a question, though. I was playing a 5-line machine, $5 a line, so $25 a spin, and I hit it for $1,100. And I thought, well, that's great. I'm not going to have a hand pay. It's not $1,200. But then I was thinking, are they really going to hand pay me on a $1,200 hit on a $25 slot? That seems like that would really slow down the game. Are there systems in place regarding high-limit slot areas? What if I was to get 3 hand pays on a $100 machine within 20 minutes? Are they going to send me 3 W2Gs? I'm not normally a slot player, but I was wondering how that works in the high limit areas for slots. Love the show, guys. Glad to hear Dr. Mike's doing better. See ya.
Yeah, good question. A lot of high limit slot rooms have a policy in place where you can continue to play even if you hit, W2G eligible jackpots,
right?
If you want to call that. You can continue to play and they'll just keep track for you and then just issue you 1 W2G at the end. Or however they have to.
Yeah, but for the full
fill
amount.
For the full amount. Yeah, no, it is for the full amount. But you don't have to stop every time other than they need to record it.
Right.
Right? Because, otherwise that would be a lot of paperwork. So, if you are in a high limit slot, well, think about it. If you're playing like $100 slot,
you're going to get a lot of $1,200 payouts.
A lot of them, right?
Yeah.
So, most high limit slot rooms do have something in place. So just, ask the slot attendant maybe the first time they come by to issue a W2G, say, hey, I'm going to be here for X amount of time. I'm playing this high limit. Can I just get it all in one bundle?
Right.
So, and then, they'll take
I wonder
care of it
if
that
they
way.
would take your information there at the first time.
I would think
Just so if you left
Of course,
afterwards
exactly.
and forgot, they'd have all the information.
Yes.
They'd mail it to you.
Yep, exactly.
I'm sure that's what they would do.
Yeah. So, but that's a good question. Yeah, we have heard about a lot of construction going on at Caesar's Palace. So, he was saying the main casino there's unrecognizable. Wow, because that's kind of iconic.
It kind of does need it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of nice because it's a throwback to the old days.
Yeah.
But it looks a lot different than a lot of the newer places.
Yeah.
So
well, this is interesting. He was talking about how Palazzo does have, the fire bed at a table, these side beds.
Right.
But at least one table with no side bets at all. Now, let me ask you, I don't think you'd like playing there. You really like the side bets.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'd like playing at that particular table. But do you think you'd save a lot of money if you were to do something like that, Dr. Mike?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think you would. Well, I'll explain it off mic.
Yes,
Maybe
I think I would save a lot of money to answer your question. Or maybe not.
Yeah, it depends on the session.
Right?
Exactly.
I mean, I might go to that table and hit the all tall 3 times.
Yep.
So I'd like it because it's kind of fun.
Of
I
course,
mean, I get a big kick out of when you're one number away from the all tall.
Yeah.
Just every roll seems, you're on your tiptoes thinking, what is that? But I'll tell you what, if the other tables were pretty full and that table was completely empty, I'd have no problem playing there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I would be the same way.
I just want a fast game.
Right.
So if those other games were incredibly slow.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think the all tall, all small is that slow.
Well, it's not as...
The repeater is.
The repeater's definitely slow, but I mean, it's slower than the fire bet. You've talked about, right?
It's much slower than the fire bet, yeah. The fire bet is the fastest side bet, period, right?
Yeah. All right, stupid question. I shouldn't even have asked you that. Yeah, that was terrible.
Get on your game. Let's
All right,
continue.
yeah, next call.
Hey, Mike, Dr. Mark, how you doing? It's Steve from Virginia. I just want to touch base with y'all. I just got back from Harrah's Cherokee. I stayed 3 nights. They have opened the new tower, which unfortunately I didn't stay in this time, but I did get to talk to a few friends of mine that go out there who did stay, and they absolutely loved it. They said it was top notch. While I was there, I did manage to get over and play a little bit of craps. First day I lost. The second day I actually ended up making back what I lost the first day. So, break even on the craps. Did get to play a poker tournament. We had about 50 participants, and out of those 50, I think I kind of came in somewhere around 23rd, 24th. So, not in the money, but I had a blast. It was good being back on a poker table since the whole COVID. You are still required to wear masks in the casino, but I will say that I saw the staff inside cleaning up the best that they could. After everybody got off a machine, they were right there on top of them cleaning them. They made sure that the elevators only had 3 people in it at one time. It was actually very comfortable. My last day there, I managed to use a little bit of free play, and I have a heartbreaking story with a silver lining. I sit down to play video poker. I don't ever play video poker. Didn't know what I was doing. No idea or basic strategy. But I had heard y'all talk about the Royal Flush on video poker. I sat down, I was playing the minimum bet on a dollar machine. It was one of these where you put in $1 for minimum or was $4 for maximum bet. Got about 6 spins in and hit a Royal Flush. So I missed the jackpot. The jackpot was $3,470 some, and yes, I was sick as a dog after seeing that. But it did pay me enough that it jumped me a couple of $100 up. So I decided to start betting max bet. And about 5 spins in later, it was one of those machines where you got 4 aces and a deuce. And you got the second bonus, which was $1,387. So that's what I got, and that's what I left with immediately. Kicking myself all the way 3.5 hours home. But anyway, that's my, when will I ever learn? Thanks, guys. Y'all keep up the good work. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Well, if you're going to play min coin, or let's say if you're not going to play max coin on a slot or video poker, that's fine. If that's the way you want to play, just be prepared for the psychological ramifications of hitting the royal and not getting the big payout.
Yeah. It's devastating. But it only hits when you don't have max coin.
Yeah, well, that's a given, of course. Hey, I will say this. If you don't have max coin in and you hit a royal, that doesn't count. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you haven't hit a royal.
No. Yeah. You have to actually be paid for it.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad we're in agreement on it.
We've set the rule. Call the Wizard of Oz, have that added into the end of their Royal Flush explanation.
And by the way, it doesn't count.
Right.
All right.
A little asterisk down below what count means.
What do you mean count? Well, it's sort of like when you talk about what is Star Trek canon. The books usually aren't canon, but the films are. It's the same with a Royal Flush. It only counts if you play max coin. All right. Let's hear how Tucker did on his 21st birthday trip.
Hey, what's up, Mark and Dr. Mike? This is Tucker from Kentucky calling in to give you guys a trip report about my 21st birthday trip to Caesar, Southern Indiana. And I just got to say, it was an amazing trip. It was a great way to spend my 21st. To start off, I was actually never down on the trip. Put $100 in the penny slots machine. Very first spin, I won $3.70 and never got down below even after that. I went to go play some high card flush. I was in for $200, got down to about $50, $60 before I hit a 4-card straight flush and a 5-card flush, so that got me well above even. Then my old man joined me and we went over to the craps table to play. It was a $15 minimum. I bought in for $600. It was pretty cold to start out with, a lot of just 0.7s. I was betting pretty aggressive to start, so I got down to about $150, $200. And my old man to my right got the dice. He 0.7'd out, so I got down even more. Dice come to me, and this is my first time ever rolling, and I held the dice for about 25 minutes. I was timing the rolls, and man, that felt good. I hit the tall, won everybody some money. People on the other side of the table were betting heavy. It was just a great time on that table, everybody hooping and hollering and high-fiving my dad. It was a great time. He actually taught me craps when I was 12, 13 years old, so it was a really great opportunity to finally play with him on the table. So I finally end up 7-ing out. I end up right about even, maybe $100 over even, and the dice get to the guy next to me, and he rolled the dice for over 40 minutes. So me and him combined for over an hour, just us two shooting. So I colored up for over $1,000, so it was really nice being handed that oversized orange chip. Then we went over to play some video poker. I was playing double-double bonus and got quad aces, so that was a great payout, just adding on to the trip. So then we head over to the blackjack table. It's 3-2, $15 minimum. They have the 21 plus 3 and the blazing 7 side bet. Did all right there. They had commission-free Baccarat and commission-free Pai Gow, $25 minimum, so that was fun to sit down and just play the player and kill some time. The room was great. The hotel was actually really nice, non-smoking room, decent view of the river. And they actually comped me a room for this weekend, so I thought that was really generous. I did play quite a bit, so I'll be heading over there this weekend just to play a little bit. I just wanted to give you guys that trip report. It was a great birthday, really fun time being able to hang out with my old man. Thanks for the podcast, Dr. Mike. I hope you're feeling better. Thanks.
Oh, you can't beat that, huh?
No.
Jeez.
I'm really, seriously, should we take a moment of silence for Tucker? Or should we sing his praises?
Well, you think maybe it's this was the worst thing that could have happened to him?
Yeah, he goes and loses, has a bad time, never goes back again. Probably becomes a multimillionaire.
Take it
now
easy.
You're stuck.
Yeah, just take it easy, Tucker, is all we can say. Oh, my gosh, what a fantastic
That's a
first
great
trip for him.
Yeah,
though,
well, and with his dad, too. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
I mean, that's my dream when my daughters get there.
Yep. Well, your daughter's old enough to go out to Verona out
pretty
here,
soon.
right?
Yeah.
She's having a birthday here
pretty
too.
soon. Yeah.
So 18. It's the minimum age for Verona. What are you going to do?
She'll probably play video poker. She understands poker, so.
Well, video poker is different than poker. But she'll pick up on it. She knows all the way. Yeah.
Right.
And they've got good video poker. Verona,
yeah. She'll have to learn craps.
All right. Let's hear from Niles again.
Hey guys, just got done listening to the episode. This is Niles from Chicago. And a big point at the beginning of the episode, you guys made just a reference to these table minimums and how the regular craps tables are just the minimums. I mean, these 25s and 50s, doesn't that push people away from the game? And I mean, I gotta tell you, back in the day, I used to love going to a $5 table. You could sit there for hours. And I mean, the game, obviously, we know how the game goes. It goes back and it goes forth. But when you only have so much to play with, it takes kind of the fun out of the game. So when do you guys truthfully think we'll ever see like $5 and $10 tables come back? Or do you think that's gone? I know you got to man these tables with, the guy on the stick and the two dealers, the guy sitting looking over everything. I understand that's 4 or 5 employees you got to pay right there. So I get it, but I mean, is it ever going to come down to what it used to be? And that's my only question, guys. I didn't play this week. Kind of just hung around the house. But thanks for taking my call, and we'll hear you next week.
I don't think it's coming back. I hate to say it, but
I don't either.
Yeah.
I hate to be a pessimist, but it's the ratchet theory of business. Things jack up, and then they very rarely come back to where they started.
Yeah.
They might drop a little at some point, but then kind of they just ratchet up. And what it is, it's human nature. We get used to things.
Mm-hmm.
So gas goes up and we all complain, gas is terrible, it's $5 a gallon. And it drops down to $4 and we're like, okay, great, it's $4. And then it slowly goes up, and when it gets back up to $5, well, we've been here before, you kind of accept things, and nobody remembers when it was $2 a gallon. I believe that's what the casinos are going to do. Things are just going to ratchet up.
Yeah, and we talked about this, I think, on the last episode. It was sort of the perfect storm. COVID came in, and then when they reopened, they had limited seating, and so
it's the perfect excuse.
They jumped up the minimums, and then with electronic gaming coming in at about the same time, I mean, really making an impression, stadium gaming, that kind of thing, that's where the low rollers are going to have to go. So, maybe we'll see it go down a little bit, but it's not going back to the way it was.
It is kind of sad because now you get $50 and $25 tables when you used to have 5 and 15.
Yep.
And, maybe they'd open a $25 table. Remember years ago, we went for New Year's. We were downtown Vegas.
Yep,
We went to Golden Nugget. And because it was New Year's Eve, all the tables shot up.
Yep.
And we played
at like 11 p.m., right?
Right. And we played the $50 table because that's all there was.
Yeah, and our eyes were just wide, like, oh my gosh, a $50 minimum.
Yeah, we've got $600 total.
Yeah.
And we're, and in those days we were freaking out.
Yeah.
And we actually did well. It turned out we had great rolls and we got lucky and we did really, really well. But that was like a special occasion.
Yeah.
And then the next day, they're back down to $5 and $10 and $15 tables. Yep. And now we've got to the point where, everyone's just going to think, oh, 25, that's fine. That's what we play.
Yeah.
And then the high limit one's going to be 50 or 100.
Yep. Well, let's put some smiles on our faces and listen to Charles.
All right.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. Just want to say that I'm in Las Vegas right now, and I'm Charles from Wisconsin for whatever that matters. And this has been one of the craziest trips I have ever been on. I have hit 4 aces so many times, I don't even know what to do. I had a $25 free play at Mandalay Bay. The first thing I did was I put in a Konami slot because that was what I had to do. But then I turned it into $160 hitting 4 aces on the 8x thing at a multi-strike. You know, I went to Resorts World and there were people playing this shoot to win or whatever machine. And, you know, the woman who had no clue what was going on hit like 15 numbers in a row. And, you know, I have more money now than I did when I showed up. And I don't even know how that happens because that never happens. So now I'm just enjoying gambling, enjoying Las Vegas, and it was a birthday trip. And I really do enjoy your show. And if I had someplace I could actually play craps, I'd go and play craps. But they took out all the table games in my local casino during COVID. So right now I'm going to go and find something really good to eat that's probably more expensive than I should pay, but it's my birthday trip. And I have a lot of money right now for no particular reason. Hey, have a good day. Bye.
Being baffled by a winning Vegas trip. I understand that. You know, when you just go repeatedly and it's like, oh, well, you know, losing. That's what you do when you go to Vegas.
Right.
Yep.
On the drive home, we would ask, well, how the hell did that happen? Either way, whether we lost big or won big.
True.
How the hell did that happen?
We were always baffled. That's true, yeah.
It's funny, though, that Dr. Taylor can disguise his voice and say he's Charles from Wisconsin.
Oh, is that what you think happened there?
That's what I think's going on here.
Yeah, all right.
All those wins at the slot machines with
Taylor's not going to live this down now. He's like this. That's all Dr. Taylor does is win. Tired of hearing about it, Dr. Taylor.
I'm going to be on his coattails next time I see him.
All right, let's hear from our good friend Robin.
Hi, guys. This is Robin. I'm so glad to hear the two of you back feeling well, and it's just great to hear you again. Listen, I'm driving up to Twin River Casino, and after listening to your previous podcast, I thought that I would just make two little comments here. First of all, I'm going to, the new name is Bally's Twin River Lincoln Hotel and Casino, and I didn't know if that was long enough for Dr. Mike or inventive enough for Dr. Mike, but I'd love to hear his opinions on that. Unfortunately, here in New England, we have quite a few boring names, like Tiverton is in Tiverton and Oxford is in Oxford. But anyways, concerning your Royal Flush, if the denomination is not important to you and you want to just break that first portal of getting a Royal Flush, my suggestion is to play nickel, 5-play, jacks or better, or if you can't find a good enough pay table, maybe 10-play, but play a low denomination. A nickel royal is still a royal flush.
Is it?
You know, just an idea. I know that this royal flush thing is really bothering you. Have you guys seen help concerning the royal flush? Anyway, great hearing you guys, and I will be going to Vegas for Travel's Work, so maybe we'll see you there. Okay, have a great day, guys. Love what you do. Bye.
All I got to say, Robin, is 8 hours playing a nickel slot machine with the craps table in sight, and then I don't hit a royal flush would put me in the shower for about a half hour. Okay?
Look, I'm not going to do anything special to try to hit the royal, right? I'm not going to do anything special. I'm just going to keep playing like I've always played, dollar, single line, video poker, because, you know, it's tainted if I try.
Yeah, it is tainted.
Even multi-line, I think.
I hope you do continue that because I don't want you. I want to win the football pool before, so I look like a genius.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. We got that bet going.
Yeah, those names. I mean, come on.
All right.
Just the name of your city. I mean, why? It'd be like a restaurant saying "Eat Here." That's the name of the restaurant. Eat Here.
Well, see, the thing is, the name of the city. Then you know where the casino is. If a restaurant's called Eat Here, it's like, okay, absolutely. I understand what I need to do.
I like interesting names. I think everything should be named.
All right,
interesting.
You went over that last episode. Let's not rehash it. All right, let's end things here with Reverend Dave.
Hey, Mark, Dr. Mike, how you doing? It's Dave from Northern New Jersey. Mark, it was great hanging out with you a little bit in Vegas a couple weeks ago. Dr. Mike, sorry you couldn't make it, but glad to hear that you're doing better. So I got a couple things to talk about. First thing is Harrah's Cherokee. So many people talk about it, both on your podcast and others. I finally decided I got to talk about it. I was there maybe 15, 20 years ago, and I assume things were different then than they are now because nobody talks about the experience I had. The table games were all electronic, but that had dealers that would just handle the chips. The actual cards and whatever else was happening on a display, and you would do a hand signals for hit or split or whatever for blackjack, for example, and the dealer would then hit a button, and your actions would appear on the screen. And then at the end of the hand, the dealer would handle the chips to pay you or whatever. Very, very weird setup. And then on top of that was the slot machines. They had video poker, but they also had standard slot machines, real spinners. But the weird thing was the real spinners were double spin. What I mean is you spin once, and for example, you're playing the cherry machine, you get cherries on wheel 1 and 2. You'd spin only wheel 3 again to get a better result, perhaps. And if that wasn't weird enough, they had 3 machines by the front door that you could play for free. That way you can practice. You can figure out this double spin thing because, I don't know, maybe people in the area just couldn't figure it out. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was G2E. I was there for the show, and I agree with what Tim Lawson said on his own podcast, that it was boring. It was a lot of empty space, and there wasn't even anything new and exciting for a guy like me, a table games designer, to get excited about or even to talk about. Except I saw in the casinos a alternate version of the all tall small. They call this boom or bust, little ones and big ones. I saw it at Mirage, O'Shea's, and Link. It played just like the all tall small with one little exception. There was an extra set of markers. This way, like, for example, say the roll was a 4, so there's a spot above the little ones to mark the 4. There was also a spot above the boom or bust to also mark the 4. So what this does is, say all 5 of the little ones get hit, it pays off immediately, and you can restart it immediately while they still have markers for the boom or bust, waiting for the big ones to hit. And again, if then the big ones also finally hit, the little ones are already partially done while they pay off the big ones and the boom or bust, and those can restart as well. It was a very nice alternate version of the game. The weird thing was I saw it on the Mirage table and I saw it on the O'Shea's table, but it was not on the Link table. They certainly had the wording, boom or bust, little ones, big ones, but they only used 5 markers on each side. There wasn't an additional set of markers. Anyway, love the show. Keep up the good work. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Dave actually sent us some pictures to kind of show what he's talking about. It's a little easier to visualize.
Yeah.
But one of the things we've talked about in the past, too, is when it comes to all small, tall, if one of the sides hits, let's say the small hits, you can't bet the small right away because the tall and the all haven't been resolved yet. Right? I know some casinos came up with weird ways to be able to do it, but, you know, most casinos won't let you do it.
Right.
And so
I do like that. I'd love that.
To be able to rebet it?
To rebet it.
Yeah.
But I could see where it would be confusing.
Well, see, this is the thing. And what he's talking about, they call it different, you know, boom or bust. But basically all small, tall, they're separate markers for the small and the tall and the all. So, you know, if a 4 is rolled, they have to mark it in 2 places, the small and the all.
Right.
So you could have a situation where, like he says, all the smalls hit, that bet has been paid off, and all the markers come off of the small.
Right.
But the small numbers in the all area are still marked to keep that going.
Right.
Meanwhile, small can, you know, start over again. So that's kind of a good way to do it. It's, the casino's going to like it because they're going to make more money that way.
They're going to make
right?
a lot more money. Yeah.
We'll have to watch out for that next time we go.
Yeah, I'd like to play that.
What he was saying about G2E, Tim Lawson said the same thing. A lot of the foreign exhibitors weren't able to attend this year, right?
That's
so
a
that
big
was
difference.
a lot of it. So they said, just the floor looked a lot emptier. And you know, the other thing too that we hear complaints about is the G2E is really for casinos and sellers. It's not for gamblers. They're not really interested in talking to gamblers.
No.
You know, so
they make something, they want to see if it'll be bought.
Yes.
A casino. They don't care if the people play it.
Yeah, right.
They just need to sell it to the
get
casino.
It into the casino.
Right.
It was interesting what he was saying about Harrah's Cherokee, an electronic game where the dealer inputs your decision and then uses real chips to pay you off.
Now, he did say this was quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that was because of some kind of state law.
It had
at the
to have been
time.
some kind of thing, something about that. Yeah, that's all
there
I
was
can
probably
figure.
some kind of state law at the time that subsequently got changed, and they went to a more traditional.
You'd think it'd have to, because a casino wouldn't want to do it that way.
No
right?
way. That'd be a nightmare for them.
Yeah. Well, we do have some more phone calls, but we'll leave them for next time. I think we're going to be completely caught up for calls on our next episode.
All right.
So the Breeders' Cup is coming up here before our next episode. It's going to be on Friday, November 5th and Saturday, November 6th. And once again, it's here in Del Mar.
Del Mar, yes.
Turns out we are not going this time.
No.
We kind of decided early that, I don't think we're going to do it this year because we weren't sure how the year was going to pan out now. And I'm really glad we didn't make plans, because I don't think you'd be able to go, Dr. Mike.
No,
your condition a whole day at the racetrack.
No, that'd be way too much walking.
And, last year we were only able to get standing room only tickets. So we didn't even have a place to sit, really.
Right.
So,
we stood the whole day. Yeah, I couldn't really do that.
But anyway, so that's going to be here soon.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's
Sure.
good for San Diego.
Oh, it's great for San Diego, yeah.
It's all we have left. When the Padres don't play, we got, the Breeders' Cup every 4 years or something.
I like living here, Mike.
I do too. I just wish we had more of a sports influence.
Relax. That's going to do it for this episode. Hey, we want to thank some people for some recurring PayPal donations. Nathan, Brian Dancer, Brian and Sarah, and Josh. Thank you very much. We also got a donation from Ken. Karma donation for my 40th birthday trip to Vegas. Hope to hit a fire bet and a few hard sixes for Dr. Mike. Not sure if I'll have the guts to go for 3 in a row. Love the show. Thanks for always making me laugh. Take care, Ken from Cape Cod. Well, good luck on your trip.
Yeah,
and
good luck,
birthday.
Ken. And if you're up, go for 3. If
All
you're
right.
up, go for it. What the heck?
If you're up, yeah. We also got a donation from Bill, a past post Karma donation, celebrating my first live casino experience since February 2020. In September, I had a 2-night stay at Caesars Windsor, which had recently reopened. I ended the trip with my bankroll boosted by about 40%. Great feeling to leave the casino with money in the pockets. Oh, congratulations,
Yeah, it's a good
Bill.
ride home.
Yeah. And finally, a donation from Tara. Happy 40th birthday to Taylor. Karma donation for his Vegas trip. Going for another Royal. See, Tara knows what's going on.
We tease Taylor, but he's a great guy.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah,
I hope he hits.
Oh, he's going to.
I'd like to see Taylor hit 2 in a row,
You were
back to
saying
back,
that, yeah,
like
before
2
the show, yeah.
pushes.
Uh-huh.
Just boom, royal flush, boom, royal flush.
Yeah.
That would stick in my craw forever. I could complain about that for the rest of my life.
What's the best back-to-back hand you've had at video poker? And I'm asking because I want to tell my story.
Okay, well, for me, I don't know. Maybe 2 flushes in a row.
Okay, all right.
Seriously,
Yeah.
probably 2 flushes.
I don't know if you remember this, because I think I was sitting right next to you, but I got dealt a straight flush. And then the next hand got dealt 4 aces.
Wow.
Right? Didn't even have to draw.
That's
so
pretty.
I don't think I'm going to do
nice.
much better than that. Yeah. But hopefully, yes, Taylor will get the 2 in a row Royals.
You get 2 in one day. Can you imagine?
No.
Cloud 9.
No, I can't imagine.
$8,000 just, from some slot machine.
No. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listing showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. You can bet on that.com/TV-listings. And our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at youcanbetonthat and on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetonthat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review of the show. We love getting your feedback. What do you got for us tonight, Dr. Mike?
Well, football season's underway.
Yes.
I just thought I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how weird it is.
What do you mean?
For bettors. Kansas City scored 3 points this week.
That was a spanking.
If you had come to me and said, hey, the over-under's 3 for Kansas City score, I would say,
Yeah, that
Give
was
me $1 million on the over.
that was embarrassing.
I mean,
it was terrible.
And it's been weird. A lot of teams,
it's
the
hard
Chargers got spanked by Baltimore. The next week, Baltimore gets spanked by Tennessee. I don't know what's going on. It's very hard to bet football this year.
Yeah.
College is somewhat weird too.
Yeah, there have been some big upsets.
There's been some big upsets already, where unranked teams beat ranked teams.
Yeah.
And it's just like weird this year.
Yeah, you going to be okay?
Well, I don't know. It's taken a toll on me. And then Atlanta and Houston in the World Series? Who wanted that?
Nobody.
I laughed because I asked your dad, and he said, well, I won't root for Houston because I don't root for cheaters.
Yeah.
And then I said, what about if the Dodgers had been in there? He said, I never root for the Dodgers. So if Houston, and he would have not watched the World Series, which is unfathomable.
I know he is watching it. Well, apologies to all those Astros and Braves fans out there.
Right.
But yeah, I think we're going to need to make another deposit into our sports betting account.
Your basketball and hockey picks.
Oh my gosh, we had such a great day Saturday. It was like, wow, we're on top, and then I blew it all.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, we're never coming home with money in our pockets. Who are we kidding?
No, we're not. I'm glad we're come to terms. This is what we do.
This is what we do. That's always at the end of my little pep talk on the way out to Rincon.
This is what we do.
This is what we do, Mark.
This is what we do. Did you lock the car?
Let's go do it.
All right. Thanks for listening.
All right. Good night.
Okay, let's thin this herd. Untucked shirt, no thank you. Born in San Diego, yikes. An adult named Todd? So this is what online dating is like?